Coming to you from the LoadingReadyRun orbiting underground moon base, it is the LRRcast.
Wow, 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 wow.
I refuse.
Wow, 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 wow.
You know what that was? That was the camera
Wow,
pulling out of
wow,
like a
wow. I'm not
dystopian
stopping. Wow.
1980s sci-fi
Wow,
epic.
wow.
That's true.
You know, just like the
Wow.
bum, and then like the
That's
deep,
the
like
vibe
the
I was going for.
Yeah.
I'm listening to a lot of Tomorrow's Harvest.
Yeah, I can tell. Hey, everybody, it's the Loading Ready Run podcast. Whee!
Hello.
I'm Graham.
I'm Kathleen.
I'm Paul.
I'm James. Yeah, we got that worked out now.
Wasn't that hard?
It was apparently it was. I don't know.
Oh.
We're gonna be talking a little bit about one or two videos, and then catching up on this Askler thread that we made a couple weeks ago when we didn't do a podcast because we thought we were going to when we opened a thread for it, and then we didn't do it, and then last week we did it from the Facebook questions instead.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Whoops.
Whoopsies.
So, this past Monday's video was Homebrew Hobby.
Which is covered pretty extensively in the loading time, so we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, well, actually, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the writing of it
Oh, the writing of it
because that's not covered in the loading time.
No, the writing of it is in real life. Cam and I are like pretty much like best buds, and we hang out all the time. And a new sort of piece of that best bud puzzle has been introduced because our friend Maya is now dating Cam, and I basically adore her. So we're all hanging out and we're talking about how like I'm kind of unhappy with how my Commodore Hustle character is perceived, and then we started making jokes about how I would be taking up all these hobbies and stuff like that because, you know, it'd be funny and stuff like that. And then so after throwing around jokes and like screwing around for like 45 minutes, I went and got my computer and started like actually writing out a script and basically using their input and then like crafting it into a story and then bring in like this homebrew thing and then so I think the credits are Kathleen DeVere with.
Yeah, it's sort of like Cam and Maya, helped with like the story, but
Concept.
yeah, but Kathleen wrote it.
Yeah,
so.
I mean some of the jokes are theirs too.
Do either of the three of you, or any of the three of you, have any experience with homebrew?
Nope.
Well, clearly not.
Beer?
No.
Because you can.
No, I know. I honestly do know. I know enough about homebrew and I looked it up and stuff like that. Like, I know how inaccurate that is, but I don't care because it's supposed to be
But-
funny and stupid, right?
What? But just like why? Like I get the the part with you doing the coming up with different hobbies and stuff, but what made you guys think of that as the sort of B story?
The B story is we need something for other people to be doing. I fucking love magical realism. I love the idea that one could take homebrew and make like, I don't know, explosives out of it, even though it's completely unlikely. And I was inspired by the fact that James hangs out with Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton has gotten into homebrew recently.
That's true.
And so I thought there'd be something that Commodore Hustle James might decide to take out because cool people are doing it. And despite the fact of how badly it goes, it actually seems like sort of a practical, useful thing to do is make your own beer if you really like beer because you save money and then you get lots of beer.
It's the sort of thing I could completely see James doing,
Yeah, exactly.
and the sort of thing I would totally help James for a quarter of his beer.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
yeah, that didn't
So-
not actually inspired by reality, but not unbelievable.
Yeah, basically just, applying that and then, so yeah.
One thing that was inspired by reality, like directly from life.
Oh, is actually the scene where I fling that roll of paper towel. I was actually just hanging around with Cam, and I wasn't in a bad mood. We were just chatting and hanging out, and like seriously, I was just trying to get into a fucking roll of paper towel, and I could not do it. And I'm just sort of standing there, and I spend like probably 3 minutes trying to jam my
Just
way
trying to
in.
get purchase on the plastic.
Yeah, and like eventually I just got so mad at it and threw it across the room, and it was very funny. And then Cam was like, "You should probably put that in a video."
Nice.
It played very well. Yeah, it was fun to shoot. What you won't see much of in the thing is the stuff at our house, because Alex and the Loading Time camera was with Paul and James as they went around collecting all the props and such for the the homebrew stuff. But I mean, not that it was that interesting, the shoot at our place, but it was
the shoot at our place was like practically like surgical in its precision.
Mm-hmm. But I did manage to get some slightly new angles, so that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh, and we borrowed a bunch of yarn from Heather, which is Beej's wife.
That was a lot of yarn.
Yeah, and she was like, "This isn't like, I don't care about this yarn. I'm not using it right now. It's not expensive yarn. Just don't get it knotted."
Oh yeah.
you got it knotted.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they were doing that they thought that they like, because I was setting up the shot, and Beej and Cam, and to a lesser extent Kathleen, mostly Beej and Cam. So at least it was Beej's fault. We're unraveling the balls of yarn. I don't know in what universe they thought it wasn't going to get knotted doing it the way that they were doing it.
I was not involved in that whatsoever because I was hastily
you were teaching yourself how to knit.
I was hastily putting together the knitting prop that I would need to use. And the thing is, and I don't think this comes up in the loading time.
No, it doesn't.
I actually legitimately know how to knit. I did it in university, and then I stopped because I am lazy.
This was new information to me.
And so I had to sort of reteach myself how to knit and get going. But it turns out I'm actually still pretty good at it.
It also turns out that we'd forgotten to get knitting needles. And we were out of meat skewers.
So what I'm using is...
And chopsticks.
Yep.
So...
What I'm using is 2 pieces of bamboo or whatever, like wood from like a sushi rolling mat. But you know what? It worked.
Yep.
You just need 2 sticks and you can knit.
Nice.
It's words to live by. 2 sticks and you can knit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need yarn too.
But I've
nope.
But since then,
just the sticks.
No, but after that, I went to the dollar store and I bought myself a $1.50 ball of wool and a $1.50 set of knitting needles, and sort of retaught myself how to do stuff. And I don't know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised were you at the actual my ability to knit?
I was pretty surprised. I don't know about. I can't think of 1 to 10 exactly, but I was very surprised just because it had never come up.
Nope. Well, I'm not a crafts person.
No.
I'm not a patience person.
Yeah, it
is a patient craft.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
It's not typically your bag.
Oh no, but you know what you can do while you knit is you can listen to music, which is my bag.
Yeah.
That's my bag.
Also, this past week, the part 1 of the finale to Strip Search went live,
which is the longest episode we've put up yet.
It's like 28 minutes or something.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be the longest, but then they made me add that thing of
That thing and that stuff.
that the little sort of tag at the end, the tune in next Tuesday for the
little stinger where Katie is
that-
impaling Abby with a batleth.
that was enough to push it over over 28 minutes. But yeah, that's I mean, as you can see, it there's a 4-hour thing. Like some people were like, why'd you do this? Why the cliffhanger? Why? And it's like, because
really long episode, or we would cut like everything good.
Yeah, because it's like you can see there, like this was not done as a cliffhanger. It was explicitly stated that it's part 1 of a 2-part thing, and from the episode that it's 4 hours of thing, and we the first hour and 40 minutes gets reduced to like 17 minutes of that time, or maybe 22 minutes of that's probably more like 22 minutes of that time. So there's just limits.
There's lots of stuff.
Yeah, like nobody wants to watch an hour-long video on YouTube, right? Like that's insane. That would not even fly on network television, right?
Well,
But
yeah, but what?
Yeah, it would.
Network television season finales of reality TV shows are 3 hours.
2 hours,
3 hours long.
Yeah.
They're insane.
Yeah, but they cut to commercials every so often.
Yeah, they have commercials to get too. They have they bring back all the previously eliminated contestants to give useless talking head bubbles.
Yeah. Oh, pardon me. So if you're watching this before having seen the finale, a reminder that the finale is going to be Tuesday, prime time for Pacific on Tuesday.
Is this actually going to go up before Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm probably going to put this up like today or tomorrow.
Okay.
So this will be the part 2 of the finale will be airing 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, because it will go online concurrent with the live screening in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't be Monday at midnight as it's been, prior, or Monday at 2 a.m. It's I guess
Monday
Tuesday,
when we get to it.
I guess Tuesday at 2 a.m. So anyway, the point is Tuesday evening, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And cut this if it's supposed to be secret for some reason. But some people were asking about, why there's a challenge when they have their whole whether their portfolio, the whole like actual thing that they did with all the comics, where that's going to be just like thrown out.
Oh
and
God, no.
The
No,
results
no,
from
no.
the challenge are going to be the thing they look at.
No,
It's most definitely a combination of the two
Oh yeah.
that Mike and Jerry are looking at.
Yeah.
The idea being,
Yeah.
and this is me kind of like putting words in other people's mouths, so cut this if I'm wrong. The idea being, you can go and you can spend, a bunch of time, putting up a comic and creating beautiful comics and stuff like that. But if you can't, and then you notice the words in the wastebasket are very different. It's the wastebasket of broken themes. If you
That's
don't,
not the official name.
no, but that's my name for it. If you don't know your characters and how they would react to situations well enough that you can't take them and place them in a situation and allow them to explore that situation, then you probably don't actually have a great handle on this comic, and producing a weekly comic for a year is going to be very, very difficult for you, right? Like, the idea is, like, not only have you made this concept, this is something you are so comfortable with that you can just, you're like, yeah, I got this. I know these characters. I know this strip. I can do it. No problem.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's more entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Just
let's
a
not
portfolio review?
Yeah.
let's not lie. Like, it's just like, a portfolio review would
Yeah.
not be the most entertaining. But they will not just be ignoring everything that they did prior. So, well, let's just move on to it. No need to do a super long episode this week. So this is a thread that was created a couple weeks ago when I said it was just going to be Kathleen and myself doing the Askler, but that was obviously a lie. But so I don't actually think there's that many specific questions in here. So. Collectively, this is a magic question that I feel like we can field here. Collectively, how many magic cards would you say the crew has?
Thousands. Tens of thousands.
I
A
can't.
lot.
I can't begin to guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
because there's like,
There's tens of thousands, and then there's tens of thousands more that are just here at the office. They don't really belong to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're adding up stuff like Cam's card collection or Alex's card collection, right? Like the sort of greater Magic playing community, we probably have close to 100,000 cards between all of us.
Yeah.
And only half of those are bump in the night.
Yeah.
We have several thousand bump of the night.
What is your favorite series that you have created?
Favorite series that
Foxmar.
we have created.
I like them all for different reasons. Don't make me choose.
They're like my children.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do like them all for different reasons.
Like, I can't be like I can't compare like Unskippable to Feed Dump or to Checkpoint or to Strip Search.
Well,
like, they're all different.
Or do they mean like thing within Loading Ready Run, like a series of?
No, I think they
like
mean,
favorite
like-
series. Yes. What is your favorite series you've ever created? My personal favorite was the Fail House.
Oh, okay.
Is the question.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Loading Ready Run certainly has.
Yeah,
the
It kind of
Yeah.
has to be Loading Ready Run.
it sort of has the top spot in terms of that's just
I
what
mean,
we spend the most time on.
It's different
and
for
that's-
us because we don't watch them; we make them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we do also watch them, and we find
I
them
get a big.
entertaining.
I love watching Unskippable because I have nothing to do with it, so I'm just like, yay, jokes.
I mean, the problem is that you kind
one
of
of my
have
favorite
you kind of have to.
experiences.
So let's take Loading Ready Run out of the equation.
Okay.
Because the problem
Right.
is that nothing else would exist if it wasn't for Loading Ready Run.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's take Strip Search out of the equation.
Yeah.
Let's just deal with completely 100% in-house. We've made these things.
Okay.
So let's go. So we have the whatever thing. We have the Fail House. We have Feed Dump.
Yep.
We have Checkpoint. We have ENN. We have
Daily Drop.
Daily Drop. We have Feed Dump.
Yeah.
No, you already said feed
We
up.
already
Yeah.
said Feed Dump. We have Friday Nights.
Yep.
Unskippable.
Unskippable.
I guess you can
Commodore
count, you can
Hustle.
count Friday Nights and Commodore Hustle kind of as a one thing.
No, I think Friday Nights is its own thing now.
Okay.
I when I think when I think Commodore Hustle, I think Commodore Hustle more actually folds into Loading Ready Run for me.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'd actually put it out there, but Friday Nights it's definitely its own thing. I think if that was the case, it would probably be Friday Nights. That being said, Daily Drop was super fun to
It
do.
was super fun.
That was a fun week, but I think it's probably has to be Friday Nights. even though there isn't actually all that much of it yet.
Oh, also
it's
crap
still-
shots.
Oh, and crap shots.
Well,
yeah.
It was my idea.
that's true. But
It's. I feel like, yeah, it might be Friday nights for me too. When I think of like series that, if I'm bored or whatever, I want to like go back and watch myself. I mean, sometimes I go back and watch Loading Ready Run videos, but I mean, I'm usually not that inclined to like go back and watch Checkpoint or ENN because it's about old stuff that
it's
isn't that
time
relevant
sensitive,
anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I think Friday nights maybe for me as well, just because it is the sort of interact. It's the confluence of sort of the Loading Ready Run, Commodore Hustle universe and an actual sort of thing that we were commissioned to do. So it's kind of a neat combination of that.
Yeah.
Foxmar continues to ask, I'm embarrassed to say this, there's no need to be embarrassed by this, that I've never seen Doctor Who. That's fine. You are welcome here.
Get out.
What would be a good episode or season to start with?
the new
start
one
with-
with Christopher.
Yeah, you
Eccleston.
just start with Eccleston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't-
just start at the beginning of the new season.
The 2005 episode.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you really love Doctor Who, you can go back, but I mean, like there's a lot of it, and it's sort of inconsistent in
And it's just
quality
quite
and
it's just
writing
quite
and-
different. Too.
Yeah.
And the 2005 series was created with new viewers in mind as
Yeah.
well. So they sort of re-explain everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to start like it is the new 2005 series has its own chronology and stuff. So like if you started at the beginning of this season,
it would
Of
make
that series,
no effing sense.
it would be problematic. I mean,
Yes.
for people who even know what's going on, it doesn't make that much sense. But
I think
but it would not be a good introduction to it. So I would definitely start with the 2005 Christopher Eccleston first series of that.
Agreed.
Cathanid, or Cathanid. We'll go with that. Says, hey guys, hello from Guelph, Ontario.
Woo!
Hello, Guelph.
Longtime viewer, first time asker. What are your favorite childhood nostalgia movies? For instance, mine is The Never-Ending Story.
Ooh.
Never-ending Story is up there.
That's big for me,
Flight of the
yeah.
Navigator.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You are the
Camp
Navigator.
Nowhere.
That one I don't know.
That's pretty silly.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one either.
The original, actually, this isn't not even necessarily a nostalgia movie because it is actually legitimately a good movie. But the original Addams Family movie.
Oh, so good.
That's really, yeah.
I don't
So
know, like,
good.
is that? I don't know if that's old enough to be in.
It's
For
early
childhood and stuff.
90s.
Yeah, it was. That was so good. Yeah.
You would have been like 10 when that movie came out,
Childhood.
Paul.
Like
Yeah,
all
I think it was
the
childhood.
Yeah.
all like the 80s fantasy movies are sweet. You know.
I'm
I'm
trying to
what
think.
I watched a lot of as a kid. I
Yeah.
watched a lot of DuckTales, but that's not movies.
I had a VHS of Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, which I really liked as a child.
All them Peanuts movies.
All them Peanuts movies for me, but like, I mean, obviously, my favorite Peanuts movie is A Boy Named Charlie Brown. I think it's just the best constructed one. I don't like Snoopy Come Home because it's literally too sad for me to watch. If you ever just want a fucking ball, just watch that movie. It's so sad. But when I was a kid, I really, really liked Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown. I have vivid memories of watching the scene with the Chateau of the Mal. I'm trying to think. It's the Chateau of the Bad Neighbor, but I can't remember the French for it, and it burns down. It's all very dramatic. Blah, blah, blah. And you get to see a picture of Charlie Brown's supposed grandfather fighting in World War II, and he looks exactly like a tall Charlie Brown, and it's really funny. And there's this amazing scene where they're driving around the Arc de Triomphe, and Snoopy is driving for some reason.
What?
It's
that's-
rid-
That's
the thing.
illegal.
this is a ridiculous movie. And they get into an accident, and Snoopy is like, which is
Wow.
so
yeah,
rude.
I remember that.
It's so rude. It's amazing. I love that movie.
Yeah, I think that's.
Some of the early Disney movies, but not like I'm of the era that we grew up with, like
Not like the cartoon.
the
Disney
Little
movies.
Mermaid and Aladdin and the Lion King and that sort of things. But no, like still the cartoons, but not like the recent not like the late 80s, early 90s resurgence of the Disney musical. I'm talking like 101 Dalmatians or The Great Mouse Detective or
Yeah.
The Rescuers,
Yeah, yeah.
like that sort of era.
I
Rescuers
remember
was
watching The Rescuers
not-
when I was a kid.
No,
Rescuers was Bluth, I think.
Nope. The Rescuers is
The Rescuers was
is-
Disney. It
is
was
a Disney movie, but-
Secret of Nim. Also,
No.
Secret of Nim.
I'm gonna back him up on this.
No,
The
but
Rescuers is
there's-
a Disney movie,
Okay.
but it came out in the 70s and it was never super popular. But it was on New Zealand television a lot.
I watched
Yeah,
a lot of,
I really like that one too.
I watched a lot of The Rescuers Down Under as well.
Yeah.
What
Not popular.
Yeah.
in New
Fievel
Zealand.
is what I'm thinking of.
It's
Oh,
Disney.
Fievel.
That's
Oh
what
my
I'm
God.
Oh yeah.
That's the other
wow,
one.
77 for The
Yeah.
Rescuers. Really? Crazy.
I was thinking there's some like mouse thing that I always think is Disney, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Crazy.
Next question.
Do. What's weird, I was just talking about this. Aaron B. Sam asks, Dear Dr. Graham, on your Tumblr about 2 years ago, you commented that you take horrible video notes and found a video ideas note simply saying, "Where else can I poop?" Please tell me this idea can finally be dragged out into the light and be seen by the adoring masses. I can help write it if you need. How often do you use fan-based script submissions? Or perhaps it could be one of the foulest X ways to Ys I have ever seen. So, a variety of entertaining anecdotes about this. One, I was just speaking with Maki yesterday from Strip Search because he had one of the strips he submitted is basically that same problem that he wrote down a joke and the entire note was Dick Bell.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't know what the rest, and so it's him walking along thinking to himself, Dick Bell, and then he keeps walking, or no, then he writes it down, and then future himself comes up and yells, "Write down the whole joke, asshole," and then beats the crap out of him, out of his present self.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a problem a lot of people share. Yaxley, actually, Yax on the forums and on Twitter, or Yax on Twitter and Yaxley on the forums, already has written a fan-submitted script using "Where else can I poop?" that we just haven't used. It's a little short, but also it's. I mean,
about pooping.
it's no. I think it's really funny. We just haven't gotten to it.
I feel like where else could I like that should be? We should use it as like a throwaway line in a Commodore Hustle.
Yeah,
As like something that we're working on.
it's like a game show. Welcome to Where Else Can I Poop? Yeah, exactly. Yay!
That'd be a really easy game show. Though.
Yeah.
It seems like you could poop anywhere. Really.
Pretty much
If you
anywhere.
The
wanted.
toilet's off limits. Where else can you poop?
The sink.
The sink. Ding.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me sink.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's like it's
It was
one
a
of
family.
those.
It's a family
Family
feud.
feud
Yes.
style.
I guess.
Because they like if it's just where else could I poop? I think you pretty much ding anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. In my
On a
hand.
chair.
Ding.
Bing.
Yeah. And will I be returning to Tumblr anytime soon?
L'Arc de Triomphe.
I post there when I remember to. Bobage asks, "Can you possibly help me learn to hula hoop? I'm so bad it hurts."
No.
No.
I can imagine it would hurt if you were bad at hula hooping, though. That's one of those things where it's not necessarily just the.
I think there's probably
Metaphor.
videos on YouTube you could watch.
Yeah,
There most certainly is.
that seems like something YouTube would be good at.
That's how I relearned
Attach
how
a
to knit.
GoPro to it. Send us videos. Sounds like it would be hilarious.
Oh.
I think a
Attach-
GoPro would unbalance the.
Attach
hula hoop.
GoPro to like the
Have you
inside.
seen
That'd be cool.
the GoPro on a hula hoop at Burning Man video?
That video is amazing.
It's astounding.
Yeah.
Just because the way the hoop moves.
Yeah.
It's really neat. Have you seen that video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really neat.
I think that's a bad idea for a beginner.
Oh, probably, yeah. General Michi asks, I started playing Final Fantasy VII, but
Good job.
I also just rewatched the episode of Checkpoint where Graham tears it apart. I agree with the points he made, but I still love everything about the game and get teary-eyed when I hear Eris's music. Is there anything that you are fans of that harsh criticism can't sour, however true it may be? Well, for
Oh,
me,
lots of things.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
You have to understand that all came from a position of love.
That's
Oh,
your
yeah.
favorite game.
It's my favorite video game, but I can recognize the problems with it, but I
Yeah.
still love it.
Yeah. This is actually a question we had at the Escapist Expo. I remember last year when we were on the panel with all the rest of the creators. And the one that Yahtzee brought up, which I was like, oh yeah, is Red Dwarf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
that
like-
show is so good, but it gets so bad.
And like the new series that came out was not that good. Like it was okay, but it was kind of mediocre. But it's still
I liked it better than the
than like the
that movie thing?
season or
The
whatever.
Return to Earth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Return to Earth. Yeah, but it's just it's like, yeah. I mean, but it has such a strong place in my heart that I watched it anyway, knowing that it probably wouldn't be that good.
You know, going back and watching it with a critical eye, literally and because I own like the first 4 seasons, literally the first 2 seasons are the best. Like, but like even better than the 3rd and 4th season. If you go back and watch it with like an appreciation of like, you know, how to write jokes and structure of comedy, like even the like you could, even as the 3rd and 4th season go on, like there are some great episodes from later, and I'm not diminishing some of those, but already they're starting to run out of premise.
Well, the first 2 series is just Rimmer and Lister trying not to go crazy,
and it's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
The first 2 seasons are
and they had no budget, so that's all they could do.
It's so good, and everything is from like the writing, and there's no gimmicks and stuff like that. And it's just they're so good, and then it's just like the more money they get, then the more they're trying to like open up the world, the less consistent it gets.
I liked after Crichton joined as well. I thought that was really
good.
Crichton
is great. Like I'm not saying there aren't good parts about it, but I'm saying that like from a put together point of view, the first 2 seasons are the best.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those shows that additional budget was detrimental.
Yeah.
What things do you like that suck, James?
Is that even the question?
The
question is like, do you let?
Is there anything that you are fans of that harsh criticism cannot sour, even if the criticism is true?
No.
It's like
the answer is absolutely not, because I just don't give a shit what other people think.
But
they're saying like
things that you acknowledge that you
can't sour, James.
Yeah,
is there anything? Like, what are you a fan of that
you acknowledge is not that good necessarily? But it doesn't mean
everything I like is good. I don't know. Like, oh god, I don't know. I like a lot of bad stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff out there. I don't even know. Music, movies, TV shows, I like them all.
Games.
And I acknowledge that a lot of people don't like them and think they're bad, but
is Fast and Furious 6 still in theaters?
I don't know. Probably.
We need to go see that. On that topic.
But see, that's a movie that I don't. Yeah, like I think that's actually a bad example, because
it's actually getting pretty good reviews.
It's gotten good reviews, and it's a movie that understands what its purpose is now.
Yeah.
Where before the complaint was it didn't. The complaint was,
I guess,
this series is still trying to take itself seriously. Stop it.
Right.
And they finally kind of got there with 5 and just went all the way with 6, is what I understand. So,
the sort of like physics-based, like in terms of video games, like sort of physics-based jumping around type, like Prince of Persia and those kind of video games, I have a huge fondness for. You often past the point where they're actually good. But I just really enjoy playing that kind of game. So that's something, and I'll just basically play them as long. It's like I will continue playing this game as long as they keep giving me areas to play in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into specifics, but we'll just say I own hundreds of CDs.
Yep.
And I know not all of them are critically acclaimed winners, but if I own it, because I've gotten rid of hundreds of CDs, like I've purged down my record collection several times over my lifetime, and if I still own it, I still love it, and there's some shit in there.
J.S. Baker asks a question that could take a long time to discuss, but I think that we can get through it with a couple pretty straightforward statements.
I can do it in one answer.
All right. Do you know what the question is?
Nope.
All right.
Maybe give me 3 words.
Okay.
How do we find world peace?
You get one sentence, okay, James?
Okay.
It seems like internet content producers have recently started taking a stronger stance to dissuade their users from using ad blockers. I personally have never used an ad blocker, but I don't know about other people. Is LRR having any problems with videos being ad blocked?
Oh. No.
Okay, so
Okay, so I mean, for the one thing, so first thing, we actually took our ads off our website.
Yeah, because
so if you have an ad blocker, you probably aren't seeing ads on our website. But if you don't have an ad blocker, you also aren't seeing them.
Yeah, because the return on investment on our on-site ads was not worth
having ads.
That.
Yeah.
That being said, I think probably more geared towards the video ads, right?
Yeah. So, I don't like. There's no way that we can tell if having it being ad blocked is a problem, because there's nothing to compare it to, and we don't know if things are being ad blocked or not.
Right.
So that isn't really a question that anyone is equipped to answer. But I'll say this: if it's one of the few ways that not just us, that any content producer who makes video can make money. And if you like them and you like their content and you block their ads, you are harming them. That is that is fact. I'm not.
You're actively taking money out of their pockets.
I don't care if you want to use ad blockers or not. You need to understand that is the effect that you are having,
Right.
and that's fine. You can have the debates and all that, and
it's-
whether or not you want to do it or anything, you can justify it however you want. That part is factual. So beyond that, it's up to you.
And it's not like there's the sort of hyperbole that you're like stealing and the content and stuff, which you're not. You know,
the content is free.
It's not, but it is like, I mean, our main source of revenue is The Escapist paying us for content. The Escapist makes all their money from ads.
Yeah.
So if The Escapist gets less money from ads, then
They have to
becomes-
shave money off their content.
then our
budget.
content, then they take money out of their content budget, and they reduce our budget, or they cancel shows, which some of our shows that's happened to, you may have noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same goes for the videos that we put up on YouTube. It's not a huge amount of money, but it helps, right?
And it's not necessarily like a one-to-one relationship, right? It's not like you put the ad blocker on, our show gets canceled, but
No.
it adds to it.
Yeah. I mean, whenever we run ads on our Twitch TV channel, whenever we're like, all right, we're going to do a commercial break, I always say, I appreciate those of you that let the ads play, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'd love it if you would whitelist us for that, right? You know, just be like, I don't want ads to pop up on every random website I go to, but this is a site that I know, and this is a site whose content I enjoy, so I will disable ad block for them. And it just helps.
And if you do want to use ad block, as is your right, buy some merchandise.
Yeah, buy a
perhaps.
t-shirt. Why not?
Yeah, I guess the issue with why internet content creators are like this is because somehow the internet model for making money has not come. There is no direct relationship. If you like you make a thing I like, and I pay for it. There is no way to be just
Well, there is, but no one would.
right. Like, there's no way to be like, hey,
Because you don't know if you'd like it without seeing it.
exactly, right? So, like, there's no, like, I enjoyed watching that video. I will pay $10 to subscribe to the next 10 videos. That business model doesn't exist because it's dumb. Okay? So the way people make money is from related products, right? But not everybody wants to buy merch. But maybe you will let an ad be displayed passively in the background of a website, and then the advertiser gives the host of that website like 10 cents, and then maybe half a cent will go back to the content creator. It's a weird, stupid model, but that's literally how it works.
Yeah, and I mean, stuff like Kickstarter and those kind of things are, I think, making inroads into trying to find a new model.
Well, I mean, the
Because
thing-
I think it's a positive model.
Because obviously this whole sort of pre-roll ad getting more and more obnoxious model is like, we're basically, pre-roll ads are basically where like sidebar ads were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, where before Google came along with their AdSense stuff being like, hey, just subtle ads actually are fine. Now we're at the thing with pre-roll ads, like if we do a 2-minute long pre-roll ad
Yeah.
and make it really obnoxious, then that'll be even better. So obviously it's not a sustainable, that's not going to be the future, I don't think. And that's not a sustainable way of going. So I'm all open to new types of things happening.
Mm-hmm. Holistic Bilfred asks, Dear Loading Ready Run, when you go traveling to cons or tournaments, etc., what is the one thing you always take with you?
Phone charger.
Wallet.
Try to take the phone charger. Sometimes don't.
I don't know, like my passport. Like,
Yeah,
I, mean,
yeah.
I assume they mean like
What's a
I mean, yeah, like my checklist for when I leave for an international trip is wallet, passport. Anything else I'll just buy if I need it.
right.
Um,
Is there anything that you take with you that might be that is not just like a normal travel thing, I guess, or something that is specific to you? Or
not. I mean, like on an average trip, I'll take my laptop and I'll take my phone and I'll take some magic cards depending on where I'm going, and like that's kind of it. And then clothes.
I've
obviously.
become a phenomenally light packer over the
yeah.
years.
I don't have any
Yeah.
sort of
No.
nostalgic thing or any sort of tchotchke.
No,
or,
like there's nothing I travel with that I don't. If I don't use it, I'm not gonna bring it.
Mm-hmm.
when you and we don't even travel as much as other people we know.
Oh God, no. Yeah.
But when you travel even as much as we do, it's just as light as you possibly can.
yeah, if you can avoid checking a bag, that's perfect.
Saves you money, saves you fucking tons of time.
Yeah, a lot of times. So yeah, if I don't have to take it, I don't take it.
All right.
I have kind of a ritual before I travel where I'll go and make sure that, load my iPhone up with podcasts and stuff. Like I try to, if it's one, and like try to, and get like especially if it's going to be like a plane ride that I know is going to be a long plane ride, I'll do some research into like finding a good new game to play on my.
Just make sure my things are charged.
Yeah. Making sure everything's charged, and making sure that my iPhone or my various devices are loaded with new and interesting content, which is not a physical thing, but it's still part of my sort of pre-flight ritual.
Yep. Sean X asks, you use Final Cut X for editing. Have you tried anything else? What do you think of Final Cut X compared to the earlier Final Cut? Years ago, we edited a couple things in Premiere, which is fine. I understand they've made
originally it was iMovie.
Big improvements. Yeah, we've used iMovie. I've used current iMovie. Final Cut X, there's changes that I don't fully understand between Final Cut 7 and Final Cut X, but there's also some changes I really like. And fundamentally, without getting into too much detail, for the kind of work that we do and the speed of turnaround, Final Cut X is much faster for our workflow. It's just very easy to get the footage in, make the edit, and get the final product back out.
Well, it's especially because like when Final Cut X first came out, it was missing some stuff. And over the past year or so, they basically added back everything that they should have been in when it originally came out. So it's, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of stuff if you're a super hardcore Final Cut 7 guy that it still won't work for, but it works great for our stuff.
I mean, and the nice thing about Final Cut X is that it is easy enough that we can bring on somebody like Kate to learn the very, very, very basics of the program to help us with strip search. And it's not the world's most intuitive program.
And she'd used iMovie before, so it's not like she was coming in cold.
No,
right.
But like it's pretty easy to learn, like, okay, this is how to work.
But
this is the 5 keyboard shortcuts I need to know.
Teaching her how to do it didn't take more time than she was actually going to save by doing it.
Yeah,
exactly. Right? You're not like trying to teach somebody Avid. But at the same time, for somebody like me who learns by playing, right? And like there is actually a ton of useful, very in-depth features that you can do to, do fine, minute adjustments and stuff like that. So it's a good blend between like, this is really basic and does what we need it to do in a pretty good, useful way. And actually this can do some pretty advanced stuff if you take the time to learn the program.
Dr. Seuss, it's spelled different, asks, hey Kathleen, what do you think of insert abstract band that we should be made aware of that isn't Boards of Canada here?
I've been on a bit of a kick, I have to admit. But let's see, what else? Some good stuff. My top releases for the year is this fantastic new album by John Hopkins called Immunity, which is amazing, and I think everybody should check it out. And the new Deer Hunter album, Monomania, is absolutely fantastic. It is definitely their garage rock album. I know everybody is losing their minds over the new Baths album, Obsidian, and I really liked his first album, Cerulean, but Obsidian is incredibly personal and deep and dark, and I honestly just haven't had time to sit down and really digest it before I can give a recommendation. But those are some other bands that maybe the stuff that I've liked that's come out this year and that maybe you would like too.
Sweet. Lord Hosk asks, now that you are moving to be a production house, do you think you will be creating new shows or replacing shows once they've run their course, or do you think you might start pulling to more behind the camera and in the editing booth? We have some ideas.
Yeah.
I think is all we can.
I think the answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah. Can you still enjoy other people's videos or shows, or do you find yourself distracted too much thinking we could do that, or, well, they did that wrong?
I try really hard not to do that.
Yeah.
I really try to just, whenever I'm watching something, whether it be a movie or TV show or internet video is a little different. If I'm watching sketch comedy on an internet, like on a YouTube channel, then at some points I'm like, or ooh, we should do that.
Yeah.
But professional stuff, it's just like, I just try to turn my mind off and enjoy it and not be too critical.
I enjoy
I
it.
just can't enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
I'll criticize it after.
And I do that.
Like I'll think about it after, but I'll try. I really don't like analyzing something while I'm watching it because it just takes away.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't turn off my brain. I have, but I think at the same time, it actually makes me. I mean, it means I can't watch bad television, and I've never been like a super big fan of like TV and movies because growing up, we were pretty like. After we moved to Canada, my family was really, really poor, and we didn't have like cable and stuff like that, so I didn't watch a lot of it, and so I don't have a lot of the same warm, fuzzy memories of watching TV that maybe other people do. So I don't enjoy watching it as much. But good TV, I still enjoy, and I actually enjoy it more because I can go, "That's a really cool camera angle. Oh, I like what they did there. Wow, how many times did it take to get that scene going? Good rack focus, guys. Like, I just really appreciate that."
Nice.
There's actually, I really remember it. After watching Hot Fuzz, which is
God.
one of my,
so good.
one of my favorite movies. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. But like, I remember walking out of that one and not thinking about it during the thing, but walking out of it being like, that was such an amazing movie. There was nothing really in that technically we couldn't do. Like, sort of thinking about it, it's like, but somehow but we can't.
Seems out of reach.
Yeah, it's just it's like because it's not like it's not a big sort of special effects heavy movie. I mean, there's some like
there's the
sort of
action scene at the
pyrotechnic
end,
stuff,
but that's about it. Yeah.
But it's not like a big special effects heavy movie. It's like there's no particular reason why we can't do that aside from the fact that we're not Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like watching
thing.
Spaced because sometimes I look at Spaced, I'm like,
Spaced was a huge inspiration.
I could do that. And Spaced is a big, Spaced, like the sort of magical realism tone of Spaced is a big inspiration for how I like to write Commodore Hustle and stuff.
Potato Cakes asks, why are the weekly LRR videos the length they are? Is this a limit on the time it takes to shoot? No. The time it takes to edit? No. The amount of prep required? No. Or guidance from the escapist? Hell no. Paul, why are they the length they are?
Because we thought that would be a good length.
Good answer.
When we first started, we basically had a limit of 5 minutes. We were like, we don't want anything longer than 5 minutes.
We've gone over that a couple times.
5 minutes seemed, we've gone over it a lot, but that was our general rule. Was like, we don't want anything longer than about 5 minutes. And now that's even come down a little bit.
Yeah.
To maybe like 4.
Yeah, to be like sort of, like I find like if I'm writing a script, once I hit sort of 3 pages, I'm looking to kind of wrap it up. And that's because, our editing has gotten better and everything has gotten tighter. And it's just, unless there's just most ideas or most sort of sketches that we can do, we don't want them to overstay their welcome, right?
Yeah. Head in the Clouds asks, how about a live streamed LRR video editing session so that us behind the camera geeks can see how you work? I don't know about live stream because I would spoil whatever video I'm editing, but we could maybe record one.
You could record one, yeah.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, record it.
And sort of like how Gabe does
also,
like the Gabe art videos.
You wouldn't want to be like interacting with people.
Yeah, that'd be really distracting.
Yeah, it would just slow
slow
things
way down.
Yeah.
But yeah, recording it could be cool.
Yeah. Paul Jefferson asks, how many takes did it take to do the strip search title sequence? I was up in the house when this was being shot.
I was sort of like
I was doing interviews.
ushering people in and out.
Yeah,
a lot.
Were you? Oh,
yeah,
you were.
Jason
right
and
there.
I were the ones. Who did
sorry,
it.
you were right there.
Yeah, Jason was operating the camera, and I was. I had the little light to do it, and it took a long time. Like each person, basically, we had to do each person because we were sort of doing, the pan along on each person, and so each time it went along them, we had to do that about 5 or 6 times to make sure, just so Jason got the shot right and ended in the right spot and everything. And then we did each one with 3 or 4 different expressions too.
Yeah.
Some like smiling, regular, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it took longer than we thought it would. That was one of the things that contributed to the first strip search day being so long.
There was also, I was doing interviews during that time too, but there was also, you did a take of everyone where they turned into it.
Right.
Which I only used Alex's for when he sort of looks up at the camera because it just looked really good for him.
Alex's, oh man, I think his is probably the best. Or he looks up into the camera and there's like a gust of wind that blows his hair.
Well, there's also
just at the right time.
There's also, and this was unplanned by Bradley, but I had the order locked in before he'd finished the theme.
Yeah, there's like a music surge.
There's like a surge
too,
there. Yeah, it's like Majestic Alex. It's great. Music Squid asks a bunch of questions. Not sure if it's your decision or PA's, but just to make sure, is there going to be a DVD of Strip Search when the series is concluded?
Yes.
Yes.
A DVD is a bit of a misnomer,
Probably
but yes.
a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
A set. There's going to be some sort of set.
There will be more than one.
There's 12 hours of just episodes, right?
Similarly, will there be a season 2 DVD of Friday Nights?
Yes.
Lastly, for Kathleen, I know you're very busy, but I got super excited when you did some new comics. Any news for more?
Yes. After we wrap up Strip Search, I was really into the idea of doing comics, and I just realized I only have so much energy, and just like the last month has been very intense with like
The finale and everything. Yeah.
and just
I love the ones you did, though. I really hope you keep at it.
I have an idea that I want to do for a comic, for an actual like comic strip. I just need somebody to draw it.
James.
Yes.
Lord Hosk asks,
Oh, God.
I'm going to be in Seattle in a few weeks and have a desire to play board games and Magic the Gathering with friendly people and not have to leave. I got a hankering for a nice grilled cheese. Any suggestions on where I should go?
Yeah, there's a couple
Didn't he ask
bridges
that
that you can
question
hide
last
underneath.
time?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Cardkingdom.com. Dewman asks, oh God, what is the best way to get creative works noticed online?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you find out, tell us.
how. Yeah.
Be there already and have been there for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
We're not very good at that, so we're bad ones to ask. Twitter, social network it, I guess.
Tweets and face boxes.
If we were better at that, we would have a significantly nicer moon base.
Yeah. We after 10 years, we would not be huddled around like this recording a podcast. I would be sitting in a throne.
Barcode Reader
We
asks,
are in the same space, but James would just have a throne.
I would have the Iron Throne behind me right now.
nice. Barcode Reader asks, oh, I'm in trouble then.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to back up.
Both fucked.
Barcode Reader asks a question that we'll address in those games and a question that we've addressed earlier, but also, how is the search for Cat going?
Good. Updates will happen.
All right. Silverfish asks, at the Strip Search panel, Graham was asked about whether or not there were moments where it was tough to be impartial, and you hinted there was a particular moment that was tough for you. Has that moment happened yet? It wasn't about being impartial. It was just emotional.
Certainly has now.
Yeah, exactly. It was well, it had happened well before this. It was when, spoilers if you're many weeks behind, but it was when Erica Moen was eliminated, and just because in the car at the end when she's giving her very sort of tearful speech about how meaningful the show was to her, it's just her, me, and Jason in the car, and it was a very sort of intimate setting, and it was just a very emotional moment. So yeah, it wasn't about being impartial necessarily. So. King Cool asks, since everyone but me liked the reboot of Star Trek, which I did, that's true, what did the crew think of Star Trek Into Darkness?
It was fine. It was dumb fun.
No.
I liked it.
James didn't like it at all.
I didn't really like it at all. And it had nothing to do with the Star Trek aspect. It just, I didn't like it as a movie. I thought it had its problems.
I liked it fine.
I quite liked it. It was definitely one of those movies that as you walk out of the theater, you're like, yeah, that was really... And then you start kind of thinking about it, and you're like, wait a minute, why did that happen? Wait, that doesn't make
There
any
were a
sense.
few
Who was the... Like, the
Okay.
more you think about it, the more it's like, that doesn't work at all.
There are definitely some plot holes, but the one that everybody's like, that doesn't make sense. Oh, there's a plot hole. This okay. Super spoilers. Spoilers. Okay.
All right. I think we're okay.
Warning. All right.
All right.
I was like, I can't just discuss this, but okay. So like, why does he go to Klingon? What is Admiral RoboCop thinking? And it's like, everybody's like, that's such a dumb plot hole. It's not a plot hole. It's part of the deal. It's the perfect fucking out for everything. He gets rid of this guy. He gets rid of anybody who knows about it. He gets his excuse to go to war, which is what he really wants. Like that part of the movie is actually set up pretty logically. It's just the second part of the movie. Although,
Well, it's also just the execution of that storyline.
Yeah.
It's not well explained.
Yeah.
no, it's
like
not.
it's
but
not.
it's not logically inconsistent.
No.
Like,
No, but it shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to think about it that hard after the fact to be like, oh, that's how that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like the whole plot seems to be incredibly complicated for no particular reason.
no, it's not. It's not incredibly complicated. It's like Admiral RoboCop wants to start a war. He has Nero, or not Nero. What's his face? Khan.
To fill you in,
It's Peter Weller.
Peter
It's
Weller
Peter Weller.
plays the Admiral, and he played RoboCop in RoboCop.
I love RoboCop.
And Kathleen loves.
RoboCop's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a
One of
great
my-
movie.
Possibly one of my favorite
Yeah,
movies of
that's
all
a great
time.
movie.
yeah.
Love them Jesus allegories, but RoboCop wants a war, and he has Khan over a barrel because he has the rest of his crew. So basically, he's like, "Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do this, and then you're gonna go to Klingon, so then I can start a war with the Klingons because that's what I want. And if you do this, then you get the rest of your crew back. And it's not about sending the Enterprise out there. It's just sending any fucking people out there.
Yeah.
And Kirk fucking happens to volunteer because he's hot-headed. He doesn't care. It has nothing to do with Kirk. It's just sending some Federation starship out there to get its ass blown up, presumably, right? But then Khan double-crosses him, starting all that.
Why? They have a transporter to Klingon. Why doesn't Khan transport there and be like, I'm from the Federation? Boom. Then you start the war. How hard was that?
Well, because then they could say that it was some sort of weird rogue agent or something. But if a Klingon or if like a Federation warship shows up,
I
then it's
guess.
pretty much
Sorry? Give you a couple
locked in.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
I did.
But I very much enjoyed it while I was watching it. It was just afterwards that
Yeah.
once you start thinking about it too hard, I had problems.
But
But,
I
it was
got
fun.
to see Zachary Quinto running really fast and punching a guy, and that was thrilling.
He was
He's-
not half-assing that run
Oh my
either.
God,
he was
he's-
Yeah.
hauling
Oh,
ass.
he's so hot.
I enjoyed
Sorry.
that they're like from like a greater like Star Trek and sci-fi fan perspective. I like that they are maintaining that this is an alternate universe from the original Star Trek
Right.
continuity, and that I thought the thing near the end with the like it's what you would have done back and forth, I thought that was cute. I enjoyed that.
See, yeah, so the big problem that I had, and it kind of falls in line with your thing there about this being a completely new universe, and it's totally different, but Khan's basically the same dude.
Well, the
like-
trick is Khan was frozen before the split, right?
Okay.
So he
Oh,
should
yeah,
have.
you're right.
We just frozen 300 years earlier, right?
Sure.
So he should have looked like Ricardo Montalban.
It's true. Huh.
Because everything else they get
Another-
it, like everything else that happened after the split, they get a free pass on because it's like who knows what would have happened.
Okay.
But it should be the same.
What I like about that movie is everybody's like, why is eye candy scientist Carol Marcus in there? Because if you were a big Star Trek fan, you'll know that is Kirk's wife. That is him meeting his future wife, but under different circumstances. And that whole scene where she's like, I told you not to fucking look at me, is like, that's the first woman who's ever been like,
Yeah, but that was so bad. That
I
was
know
such
it
a
was so
terrible
bad, but the
scene.
idea it's supposed to reposition
So
the
bad.
nature of their relationship. I don't know.
Moving on.
All right.
I like Star Trek, guys. I really like Star Trek.
Any luck on telling other people about your other series? Perhaps ending episodes. Oh wait, I think we did that since you did the thing. I don't know. I don't know if that thing at the end of Checkpoint worked, but figured it was worth a shot.
I saw people talking about it.
That's good. What's the last TV series you watched on DVD or other rental service non-concurrently with its television release?
Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Mine was Stripperella. Says King Cool. Yeah, we have an ongoing watching of Next Generation on Blu-ray, which it looks gorgeous.
Oh my god, yeah. If you like Star Trek and you are debating about whether it is worth picking up those Blu-rays, it fucking is.
I mean, I guess.
Like I watched like House of Cards, but that was never actually
No, that doesn't
released on
count.
TV.
Like, I guess it was Doctor Who for me, because I started watching Doctor Who.
You went back and watched it.
Yeah, because I didn't watch it until Tennant was actually finished. Like, I watched it halfway through Matt Smith's first season. So I guess that's the last one I kind of did. We should.
There's only a
We're
couple
like-
more questions.
Okay.
King Cool also asks, since there's no more LRRcast contests, how will new forum users gain forum ranks? Is this just a relic of a bygone era?
Yes.
Basically,
No.
yeah. I
No.
know.
Maybe
Okay.
I'll just start assigning them at
Along
random.
with the medals that we also never use.
Yeah.
Both of those are good ideas, but I don't know. Maybe we'll start.
I just
using
told
them again
James
at
to-
some point.
To think of a new one.
To try and think of a new forum or
I'm thinking-
LRRcast contest.
I was trying to think of one with Star Trek. I was gonna say the challenge this week
Okay.
for forum rank
All right.
is in 3 sentences or less,
Okay.
write a better Star Trek script than the one that we were subjected to a
like,
couple weeks ago.
So like the elevator pitch.
Yes, the
for
elevator pitch.
Is
For,
it
New. It has to. It has to follow Star Trek 2009, right?
No, it has to follow. You have to turn Star Trek this year into a better.
Oh,
movie.
turn into
Okay,
darkness.
okay.
Into
I,
a better.
I
movie.
only need one sentence. Kirk and Spock make out.
Okay, so currently Kathleen is winning, only
So-
by the
so-
sheer fact that she's the only entrant.
Wait, no,
So,
no.
but it's still
Kirk
gotta have,
and
like-
Spock and Khan 3-way.
It's still got to have like Khan in it and everything.
It
right?
still has to have Khan in it.
like
I
the
just put
basic
Khan in it.
the basic story is the same.
Yeah,
Or the basic. No, I guess not even the story, but like that it's still. Okay.
and by
Spock
better
can get
I mean
jealous at the end,
I
and he
mean
can still punch Khan. Oh my god,
by-
this is so hot.
by better and improve I mean anything that makes me laugh, because
All right.
you don't
All right.
actually need to like
And James will be judging that based on how funny it is.
yeah, whatever makes me laugh the hardest wins.
I like it.
Archio asks, "Are any of you fans of Terry Pratchett?" Absolutely, we are.
Absolutely.
And hey, long-time Askler, first-time listener. What?
Nice.
What?
I like that.
How does that work?
Listener.
Huh? Who? This is the only time I will ever entertain one of these questions. Who would win in a fight between Paul's eyebrows and Graham's beard?
The eyebrows.
Clearly the eyebrows.
No. Everyone. But also, yes, the eyebrows. All right, that was Loading Ready Run.
Also, so for that contest, you need to put your submission in the forum thread.
Yeah.
Please don't put it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we will not look at the YouTube
I will
comments.
not see the YouTube comments. So
Yeah.
please
Put in the form
come
thread.
to our forums. If you don't have an account, sign up.
It's a
and-
welcoming place.
It
Maybe
is.
maybe like put it in code tags just to make it
Yeah,
obvious.
That'd be really
That's
helpful.
even better.
It's you can see when you go to post the threads, there's the code tags. It posts them in like a green monospace font.
Do that.
Just makes it more obvious.
And tell us that thing, and then you'll get some sort of, I'm sure, hilariously Star Trek related.
I mean, it kind of
Forum
has
rank.
to just be Khan, doesn't it? Yeah, like it has to be Khan.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Khan. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
All right, thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you again next week.